Hi everyone, welcome back to General Mathematics. This is the strengthened SHS curriculum. Today, we're diving into a new topic that goes beyond our textbooks. So this is just a continuation of our previous lesson, but this time, this will be part number 4. So this topic is a topic that you will carry with you for life. That is again understanding and computing concepts related to income such as salary, wage, and commission. So, one, and here are the learning objectives for today's lesson. So, at the end of this lesson, you should be able to first identify different types of income like salary, wage, commission, piecework, and special pay. Number two, solve real life math problems involving income using formulas. And lastly, we will explain the importance of understanding income for financial planning. So let's face it, knowing how to compute your income isn't just something you learn for a test. It's a life skill that you'll actually use in the real world. So in this lesson, we'll walk through how to compute different kinds of income like salaries, wages, commission, piecework, holiday pay, overtime, and night differential pay. So these aren't just numbers. They're what determine how much people really earn in the workplace. Whether you're planning to work full time, start your own business, or just be smart about money, this knowledge is very essential. So as we go through different examples, you'll begin to see how time, effort, and the type of job affect how much someone takes home. So some jobs pay by hour, others tasks maybe it may be task based. So there are some who has fixed monthly basis. But in all of these cases cited, knowing how to calculate your income helps you make better decisions from managing your money and checking your payslip to negotiating a job offer confidently. So, more importantly, you'll also learn about the rights of a worker. So, as a future worker, like how much you should earn if you work overtime during a holiday or a night shift. So these are protected by the Labor Code of the Philippines and some labor laws. And it's important to understand them early on. So this lesson isn't just about math, but it's about preparing you for life, helping you become financially aware, empowered, and ready for the world of work. So let's face it, someday soon, you'll be working and earning money. But how exactly is your pay computed? So let's start with different income types and solve real world problems together. Let's have scenario number one. Okay, let's have the situational problems. First is a problem about commission based income. So Hannah here works as a sales representative with a base salary of 8,000. So that's the base salary and gets 10% commission from the sales. So in the month of July, she sold 60,000 worth of products. So let us answer this problem. So first, we get 10% of 60,000. So the multiplier is 0.10. So using your scientific calculators, the answer is a 6,000 peso commission. Next, to get the total income, we simply add the base salary with the commission. So that's 8,000 plus 6,000. So that's a total of 14,000 pesos. So this is now the final answer. So many sales job offer commission. So the more you can sell, then the more you earn money. Of course, there will be good months and bad months for Hannah. Always remember that these are the implications of a commission based income. Now let us proceed to the second example, the problem of Marisa. So the problem of Marisa talks about piecework-based income problems. So Marisa here earns 25 pesos per pouch, right? So that she will sue. And 1 week, now she finishes 180 pieces of pouches, I mean. So how do we solve this problem? Of course, the only way is to multiply each rate per piece to the number of pieces. So that's 25 pesos times 180. So that's a total of 4,500. And this is now our final answer. So again, this is common in factory and freelance job. So your speed is always in equal to your income. So there is also a positive and a good side with this one, because when we talk about piecework based problem, it entails productivity, among the employees. Okay? So let's move now to the third scenario. So let's talk about holiday pays. And so there are two types of holidays, whether it is regular holiday, such as Christmas, Independence Day, and so on. But this talks about the Independence Day. So according to the law, if it is a regular holiday, then that's considered a double pay. So um, many employees are happy serving or working during regular holidays because whatever is their regular wage for that day, it will be doubled. That's why we call it a double pay. So a double pay also means a multiplier, which is 2. So this is what we're going to do. So the 600 peso wage will just be doubled. So the regular pay, holiday pay, will be 1,200 pesos. So Darius' wage for the regular holiday is 1,200. So remember that you should know your rights. Regular holidays is equal to double pay. Okay. What about this problem? What if it is a special holiday? This is special holidays are declared by the president. So it will depend on the president whether it will be declared as a special holiday. So under the law, the multiplier is 1.3. It means there is a 30% increase on top of your daily wage. So, for example, Ira works on a special non-working holiday. Specifically, that's the Ninoy Aquino Day. And her daily rate is 500 pesos. So, again, as I've told you, our multiplier is 1.3. So, that's 500 pesos times 1.3. So, that's a total of 650 pesos. So, different holidays is equal to different payrolls as well. Always remember that. So always check for different labor policies as well, just like this one. Okay, so Ira's wage for the special holiday is 650 pesos. Let's move now to scenario number 5. We have encountered a lot of problems about overtime pay, but let's recall this one. So Christine earns 520 pesos per day for 8 hours. So she worked extra 2 hours. So how do we solve this problem? This is very easy. So first, we get the hourly rate by dividing it by 8, our daily wage. So that's 520 divided by 8. So that's 65 pesos. Then our hourly rate will be multiplied by 1.25. And this is mandated by the law. So that's 81 pesos and 25 centavos. Then we multiply it by 2, which is the total number of overtime hours. So that's 162 pesos and 50 centavos. So Christine's total overtime pay for 2 hours is 162 pesos and 50 centavos. So remember that overtime is extra effort and it should mean extra pay for you. So you should really know your writes about this one. Let's have problem number 6. So, Bobby works the night shift from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. with a daily wage of 600 pesos per day. But since this is night differential, so under the law, there is an increase of 10% on your income. So that's 600. Our multiplier is 1.1 as mandated by the labor code. So the answer is 660 pesos. So for that night shift, so Bobby's night shift wage is 660 pesos. But if in case Bobby will work again on a day shift, then he will be paid for that regular hour, which is 600. So every time that Bobby will have a night shift, his pay will be 660. Okay, so there are two different sides here. So working odd hours means higher rates. So you should know when you deserve more, because maybe this will be paid for your coffee drink. So that's the extra 10% that you get from the night differential pay. Now let's have the last problem, the annual salary problem. And this also is related to the most favorite of employees, which is the Christmas bonus, or the what we call the 13-month pay. So Nicole earns 23,000 monthly and gets a 13th month bonus. So let us compute for the annual salary and the total income, including annual income, including her Christmas bonus. So of course, the annual salary is times 12. So that's 23,000 times 12. That's a total of 276,000. But since we have a bonus, Nicole will get another full payment of 23,000. So adding 276,000, so the total income, including the bonus, is 299,000 pesos. So usually, private companies give 13-month pay whole. In government service, we have this what we call 13-month pay and 14-month pay. And usually, the 13-month pay is given every May 15, and the 14-month pay is given every November 15. So there is a different system when you work in government. But in private, what is mandated by the law is only the 13-month bonus, and that is true. So this bonus is government mandated, so everyone gets this benefit in the Philippines. So why does this lesson matter beyond the classroom? The answer for that is understanding income equips you with practical tools that will serve you now and into your future adulthood. So let's break down the importance of understanding income. Let's have the first reason. For financial awareness, income is computed, whether it's hourly, daily, monthly, or with bonuses, you can track how much money is really coming in. So this awareness helps you plan your spending, avoid debt, and prioritize needs over wants. For example, if you know how your monthly income works, then you'll be able to create a personal budget that covers your bills, savings, and even leisure expenses. Secondly, that's avoiding underpayment. So that you'll know if you're being shortchanged. Let's say you work overtime on a holiday, then do you know how much extra you would receive? So many workers unknowingly get paid less than what they're due simply because they don't understand how their income should be calculated. So knowing the formulas and the rules protects you from being taken off advantage. So it empowers you to speak up if something doesn't add up in your payslip. Let's have the third one, understanding benefits. Like say for example, the holiday pay or the bonuses. So Beyond the basic pay, employers may offer additional income like the 13-month pay, night shift differentials, or holiday rates, just like what we have discussed a while ago. So if you're not aware of this, then you might miss out on claiming them. Understanding these benefits helps you make the most of what should be legally earned. It's like unlocking hidden parts of your paycheck, whether you didn't realize that it existed. Let's have the fourth one, legal protection. Because always remember that labor laws will protect you. So in the Philippines, for example, labor laws specify how workers should be paid under certain conditions, whether it is a regular holiday, it is your rest day, or overtime. So when you understand this, you should also understand your rights as a worker. So you're better prepared to recognize violations, seek help if needed, and stand up for fair treatment in the workplace. I hope you're getting me. Let's now have number five. So to have better decisions, like comparing job offers. So imagine you have two job offers, one with a high basic salary and the other with commission and bonuses. If you understand how income components are calculated, then you can break down the numbers and make a smart decision. It's not always about who offers more money on paper. It's about who offers more value over time. Let's have number six. For this is for future planning, like for example, for your retirement, for your savings, or for future investments. So long-term planning starts with knowing how much you earn today, and once you master that, you can begin saving for emergencies, investing for the future, and planning for your retirement. So understanding income is your first step towards financial independence and stability. And of course, you'll have number seven. You'll have now the confidence and empowerment. So again, this lesson isn't just about solving numbers, it's about solving life. So the more confident you are with how your income works, then the more confident you'll be starting working and earning for real. So are you excited to work? Did you learn something for today? So remember that computing income isn't just math. It's knowing your worth. It's being financially smart and it's preparing you for real life. So in our next lesson, we'll learn now how to compute gross and net pay. So stay tuned because we will be teaching you how to use the computer technology like Microsoft Excel or spreadsheet. So if you learned something today, you give yourself a pat on the back and you are now one step closer to becoming financially literate. Again, this is Sir Peter, your Gen Math teacher. Bye.